Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, June 23rd, 2022. Fire potential impacts for the next couple of days show increasing thunderstorm activity mainly over Utah and Nevada today with a mix of wet and dry storms. The drier storms will be on the periphery of this moisture over northern Nevada and northern Utah. And then tomorrow, thunderstorms decrease over Nevada but will continue over much of eastern Utah and up into southeast Idaho and western Wyoming. And then on Saturday, the thunderstorms become a little bit more limited over Utah, and we may see a slight increase over northeast Nevada. Southerly moisture has started to move into parts of the southern Great Basin. Yesterday we did see some showers and thunderstorms in far southeast Utah. That's these purple strikes here, and then these two little pockets of red in Nevada are from some storms moving through this morning. We expect thunderstorm coverage to increase throughout the day today. Fire activity, initial attack fire activity has been relatively quiet the past couple of days. Yesterday here we just had a couple of new fires in south central Idaho and one in northeast Nevada. Precipitation for the past 14 days is shown here. It's still showing the same trend, which is more moisture across the north, drier across the south, although it has been on the dry side. It's been a little bit of a dry spell across the north for the past few days. Year seeds are shown here for a couple of our zones here in south central Idaho. Those values are just below normal for the time of year, as they have been, the weather, air masses up there have been quite cool generally and on the wetter side. So we do see this trend for increasing fire danger values with the warm and dry air that's moved up there this week. And then further south, here on the higher elevations of south central Utah, we were right at the historical records, even setting new records at the end of May. But with the higher relative humidities that have moved in with that southerly moisture the last couple of days, those values are leveling out just a bit. This morning's satellite imagery is shown here, and we're looking at two major patterns here. We have the high pressure center just to our south and east, and that is allowing some moisture, some southerly moisture, to move up into mainly Utah. And then we have this low pressure system over central California that will be moving across Nevada and northern Utah throughout the day and tonight. And that will kick off an increase in thunderstorm activity across those areas. So definitely an increase in thunderstorm activity expected pretty much across Utah and Nevada today. So for this afternoon, we can see that low moving across northern Nevada and into northern Utah by later this evening. No high-risk triggers have been issued, as most of the storms will be accompanied by some precipitation, and relative humidities are up. So a closer look at where that precipitation is expected. Really, there's a chance anywhere across Nevada or Utah for a thunderstorm. Some areas have a better chance with heavier precipitation possible, especially here over southern Nevada, or just north of southern Nevada, along the Sierra Front, and then over the higher elevations of Utah. Wind gusts are expected to accompany any of these thunderstorms as well. On Friday, that little low moves off to the north and east. There will be some lingering moisture in place over Utah for some afternoon thunderstorms, but generally drying over Nevada. No high-risk triggers have been issued. So again, for Friday, precip is expected even over southeast Idaho and western Wyoming, and then over the higher elevations of central and eastern Utah. Maximum temperatures will be on the cooler side on Friday with the cloud cover and some precipitation around, especially over the east, where highs will be in the 80s, and the west, the highs will be a little bit higher, near 90. On Saturday, another little wave moves through the flow here in Nevada for another chance of some isolated thunderstorms, and we see some southerly moisture also returning to Utah for a continuation of those afternoon thunderstorms. So probability of precipitation on Saturday shows an increased probability here over central Nevada, and then over the higher elevations of Utah once again. Minimum relative humidities are not super high, but also not super low. Here over far southern Nevada, they're in the single digits, but elsewhere, low teens. 3-day precip totals are shown here. Again, we're expecting a couple little waves moving through Nevada today and again on Saturday, and then thunderstorm activity, bigger day today, tonight in Utah, and then just some daily thunderstorm activity each afternoon. On Sunday, the high pressure begins to build into the Great Basin for warming temperatures, and then also a little bit of moisture remaining over eastern Utah. Monday, that ridge strengthens over the basin for continuing warming temperatures. Temperatures in the mid-90s are expected. Not a lot of moisture underneath this ridge as it centers itself over the basin, so we will see probably a few isolated thunderstorms, but decreasing from what we're expecting this weekend. And then on Tuesday, again, a little bit of moisture coming in under that ridge, around that ridge, as the ridge slides just a bit to the east, as we have another low pressure system moving into the Pacific Northwest. This may also increase some winds across Nevada and western Utah as well. And then on Wednesday, that trough continues to move eastward along the Canadian border, keeping possibly some breezy winds in place over Nevada and Utah, some isolated thunderstorms over eastern Utah. No high-risk triggers have been issued for any of these winds, as we'll just have to see how strong they end up becoming. The 7-day precip totals reflect largely what we're expecting in the short term. As we move into early next week, we may see a little bit of precip, or the chance for some precip and some isolated thunderstorms move back into Utah, but the bulk of the precip will be coming in the short term through Sunday. The extended forecast heading into July 6th is calling for above normal temperatures here, kind of this strange shape into eastern Idaho and northern Utah, with cooler temperatures over the southwest. And we also see this continued strong signal for the monsoon over the southwest and up into southern and southeast portions of Utah. If this pattern holds, we'll expect our overall fire potential over eastern Utah to decrease over the coming weeks, but conditions will start to dry out more rapidly over the north. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.